And welcome to another Gaming Stooges Talk video, starring Gaming Stooges.
Am I tied up?
Can you fuck
Yes,
off,
we actually
sir?
got this guy back
I don't
for
want...
once.
Why do we have him again?
Why am I tied up? Why do you guys have me tied up?
Because you need to learn about Metroid since, what, you only played one game?
Well, anyways.
Can you
Actually,
untie me now?
I'm gonna be technical. Fuck you. Where was I? Oh, look at the time. 1/2 rape time. Get the chloroform ready, Justin. We're gonna drug him up.
Okay.
And so today we're doing History of Metroid. This is kind of an anniversary thing for us as well, since this is uploaded on the 15th. 1 year.
Oh, yeah.
Now 1 year. If you say anything about this being recorded on the 6th, I'm gonna slit your throat, Cloud. That's what I thought. Alright, so pretty much we're gonna start with the very beginning. The original release, Metroid, for the Nintendo Entertainment System. So, actually, before we do that, though, who all has actually played some of the games? Me. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
He's dead. He's played one game.
Well, actually, I played parts of one other one, but that doesn't count.
Nah.
I played parts of Fusion.
We'll let it count. We'll let it count. That way you can have slightly more discussion than one game.
Yeah.
Okay, so starting with Metroid. Let's see. It was released, what is it, 26 years now since the series started? It's old. It's as old as Zelda.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yes. And guess which game didn't get, anniversary recognition at all?
Zelda.
Yeah, what the fuck is up with that? It's, not fair at all.
Yep. But more on that later. So, Metroid pretty
Never.
much... What? What?
I mean...
That's what I thought. So, in Metroid, we start off on the planet Zebus.
Which, spoilers, it's going to explode.
Yeah, eventually. We'll get there later. But, so we're playing as this bounty hunter, and you're going through trying to beat back the space pirates and their leader, Mother Brain.
Yep, but in true Metroid fashion, well, actually, it's what started it, you have to run around and collect, goodies to actually get through the game.
And die.
Well, you probably will die if you're, not collecting energy tanks.
Or, you just get bad luck and 5 enemies want to spawn right around you.
That happens
Like
too.
you get some... It's the awkward moment where there's a really big guy you have to fight and you're out of super missiles.
Fuck super missiles. I'm using my, ice beam, or wave beam. The wave beam's the cheap one. Goes through everything.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It's so
Wave
funny.
beam. What? Ground? I'm sorry. I'm too busy being badass.
It's like, what? There's a ceiling above me? I don't think so.
Exactly. But, so, this game is, beyond glitchy.
Oh yeah, I think it's the buggiest out of all
It
Metroid.
is. And, I mean, it used a lot of the same... So, in order to make it feel like it was a big game, they used some of the same rooms over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And
For all
they
eternity.
also... What?
For all eternity.
Yes, pretty much. And then it's also very bad because there's these huge, every once in a while, there's just this one room where it's just, 50 feet tall. And you just have to run up that.
And it sucks
Oh, yeah.
too because you'll have enemies placed annoyingly, so that way there you have to shoot at them from below, so that way there you can actually make the hop to the next platform because they're bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a lot of times it's like this
Fuck,
big ass
I hated that.
It's the opposite of a corridor. It ends up going up, and they're like platforms. But the problem is, there tends to be like space pirates that like to hang around the top or the edges and smack you when you try to jump on them.
It's like, what? You're trying to
And then when you hit them, you recoil backwards, and then you fall like to the bottom of the frickin'
Yes,
room.
Metroid follows Castlevania logic when it comes to getting hit.
What was that? You wanted to be at the top of the room? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, that's not happening today.
I'm sure there's
Or
some lava
anything.
down at the bottom that'll love to meet you.
There's been a few times where you try to jump on a platform,
Thanks,
and
game.
there's a space pirate standing on the edge.
Thanks, game.
Of course, if you have it, then I suggest using the wave beam on that part.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, the only reason why you should ever get rid of the wave beam is to get the ice beam to take care of Metroids.
Oh yeah, Metroids, their only weakness is ice.
Yeah. So that's the only reason to ever get rid of the wave beam. Otherwise, keep that shit.
Forever.
You're
and ever.
stupid if you don't use it.
Also, comparatively, this boss is ridiculously easy. Like, the final boss, I mean, the other boss is Ridley, and
Ooh, Mother Brain?
yeah, Mother Brain is ridiculously easy compared
Well,
to...
that's because with Mother Brain, all you do is stand in this one spot and just shoot away.
You literally, and it doesn't take that much. You literally only takes one of your missiles to break the glass, whereas when you fight her again in Super Metroid,
Yeah.
takes like 10 or something.
Wait, are you talking about the glass one
Yeah,
or the
glass.
ugly mutant thing?
Yeah, the glass and then the ugly mutant,
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure.
and then donuts attack you.
Yeah, the only thing you have to worry about are the evil spaghetti-o monsters that come after you.
Yep.
Other than that, Mother Brain is probably the most piss-poor final boss I've ever fought.
Yeah, it's pretty easy actually.
But then again, it was the NES, so...
Yeah. I mean, I remember playing the original Zelda, and it's like, that was Ganon. Where's the rest
Laser
of it?
sword.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, Zelda 2 came out. It's like,
And then it's like, haha, you thought that was easy? I was this Death Mountain.
Death Mountain, man. That's like
But this isn't history of Zelda, this is history of
the
Metroid.
second area. Alright, well, overall, Metroid, it's up. Well, it was looking back at it, it's a
It's
pretty.
funny, a lot of people, have too much nostalgia for it. That game was...
It's pretty bad.
If you,
Yeah,
okay,
actually,
especially, if you compare the first Metroid game to the first Zelda game or the first Mario game, the first Metroid game is pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
It's just a lot of repetitive rooms with some catchy music.
Metroid
and
did not
it's very
Metroid did
bland.
not age well.
Yeah, it's really bland, and I mean, you can play through it.
Yeah, it's not
But-
terrible.
No,
But it's not good at all.
it's not Castlevania Legends, the Game Boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then after that, we were graced with a second game. So that released it was like 1993.
That's a long time in between games.
We're getting there. It was 91. So
Still,
for the Game Boy, we got the Return of Samus in Metroid 2. Return of Samus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And this one changes up the entire pace. This is where we get the bulk of Samus's shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where the iconic bulk in her power suit comes from.
I did notice that because in the first game it's completely absent.
Well, actually, also the original NES game, it doesn't actually say Samus's gender because I guess it's trying to, you're not expecting what happens at the end.
Yeah, if you are able to get within under 1 hour, which is if you glitch through the game, it's possible.
Yeah.
Or you're just that skilled and you don't.
Or you just wave beam everything.
Yeah, you go for the wave beam and you say fuck everything. But at the very end, you find out that Samus inside this bounty hunter robotic thing that you're playing through the game as is actually a female. So it's one of the it's Nintendo's really only female character that's an actual playable.
Not a dipshit.
Yeah.
Because Daisy's a dipshit, Peach is a dipshit. Zelda's
And none
not.
of female playable characters in Pokemon Couch.
No.
Zelda, I don't really think she's as bad
She's
as
not
Peach,
playable.
but she's not really that useful either.
It's also not playable.
Well, yeah.
Except in Smash Bros. That doesn't count.
Alright, so then back to Metroid 2 like we tried to do. So this game was a little bit different. It's the first handheld game, and I believe I already stated this, but it came out in 1991, which was what?
I'm trying to think. It's been a while since I played Metroid 2.
I haven't
I'm not
played
sure.
it. So, yeah.
A very long time.
Okay, so where was I? Because my mother just interrupted me.
I'm not sure.
So Metroid 2. Alright, this is the first game. Okay, this is the first game for the Game Boy, and it came out, like, number of years it came out. 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years after Metroid, we got a sequel. It was the first game with the shoulder pads. I believe we already stated that. We're just trying to cover stuff back over again because we kind of jumped ship from that. Okay, so this is the first. So we come to the Metroid homeworld in this game, and this game's different from any of the other ones because we actually are just hunting Metroids. There's no real other mission. We just come here and we're told to go hunt Metroids. And this is when we actually see the evolutionary chain of Metroid, so besides just the infants when we see in all the other games, we see Alphas, Gammas, Zetas, Omegas, and then Queen Metroid.
Yeah.
Who's a bitch. And then we also... what else? So that we see the evolutionary cycle of a Metroid, and you have, they become ridiculous. Like Omegas, oh my god.
Oh yeah, I remember the Mega Metroids. Those guys, don't they actually make an appearance in Prime?
I think it's Fusion that you're thinking of.
I remember at some point in Metroid Prime, there's like upgraded Metroids.
Yeah, there's upgraded Metroids, but then... That's nice, Cloud. I know we're breaking up on your end. But no, in Fusion, the last thing you fight is Omega Metroid.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking that's what they are in Prime because they're just more beefy.
Yeah. So overall, I would claim to say that this game is better than the first one, just because it's, we actually have some varying environments instead of the same corridor 8 times.
Yeah, it's not just like and the one time you go up.
What are you trying to say, Cloud? Like, who even listens to you, Cloud? Shut up. And then also, the music is kind of there. It's not as memorable, I don't think.
Yeah.
But the ending is the most memorable thing in the game, because this is what starts the catalyst to Super Metroid.
Which I think everybody thinks is the most badass of the 3 on the Nintendo, the old Nintendo system.
Yeah. Well, some people still claim that Super Metroid, which we're just going to shift into now, there's not much to talk about Metroid 2, Return to Samus. So Super Metroid was it came out 3 years after Metroid 2, and it's for it's the next console game, so it's for the Super Nintendo. Yes.
And the thing is the Super NES, one of the most memorable songs on Super Metroid is actually the title theme.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of memorable songs.
Yeah, I think it was Super Metroid that actually the soundtrack got really good.
Yeah. So we return in Super Metroid to the what is it, Planet Zebus?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we return here, where Mother Brain and Ridley are back. They've upgraded they've rebuilt their base that was destroyed in Metroid, and they have stolen the baby Metroid that befriends Samus at the very end of Metroid 2, who she sends off to a research center. So they end up stealing it and they clone it because it's the last one in existence, because Samus just got done killing off all the other ones.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, the baby Metroid's fucking enormous.
Yeah, when you get to the end of the game, they ended up overfeeding the baby Metroid, and it's huge.
It's like, you think a Metroid is a pain in the ass? You haven't seen this one.
Yeah, but it's really memorable because it's a huge game and so much to do. And
like, I think one memorable moment, even though it seems kind of weird, I think that's why it's memorable. The point where you get fucking ambushed by that Metroid until it finally realizes that it's you.
Yeah, that's true. That part's like really memorable. I mean, in the game overall, it has the same two bosses that you fight in the original Metroid, and then it introduces two more.
What was it? Is it Fusion I'm thinking of? Like, there's this one boss that you fight where he's like in some sort of like acid or something.
Huh?
You gotta like hang from the ceiling to shoot him because there's like no solid ground to stand on.
Yeah, that's Fusion.
Oh, okay, so that's the wrong thing I'm thinking of. Moving on.
But so in the end, you have to refight Mother Brain, who had she's not a pushover this time around.
Well, like the first phase, she's still a pushover, not the second.
It plays out the same way in the first phase, minus, like I said at the beginning, where it takes a lot more missiles to destroy her casing, and then to actually kill her.
But then when the thing comes out, you realize that Mother Brain has gotten really ugly.
Yep. She ends up. She fills the room, essentially. They've been busy at work making her the most badass killing machine ever.
Yeah, and another memorable moment right here is the fact that the entire battle is scripted. You can't actually kill her until the baby Metroid actually shows up.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically taking out health to activate the event.
Yeah, like what happens is like you could still hit her, but she starts charging like this. She just starts charging like this rainbow beam of death that you can't avoid.
Yeah, and so that ends up draining all your energy, except until you hit one.
Yeah, don't you hit like one on your last energy tank?
Yeah, and then the baby Metroid.
She's gonna do it again, and then the baby Metroid jumps on his head.
Yeah, and then ends up sacrificing itself for Samus, and ends up giving Samus recharging her health all the way plus some, so now you have
and then she could say I'm going to kill everything B.
Pretty much, and it's just basically an instant death shot onto Mother Brain.
Is that the precursor to the Hyper Beam?
In Pokemon?
No, I'm talking about the beam from or is it called the Hyper Beam, or is it the Phazon Beam?
Phazon Beam.
Oh, okay. So I think it's the precursor to the Phazon Beam.
Kind of, yeah.
The funny thing is that actually after the boss encounter, you do actually have I almost did it again. You do actually have I don't remember what it was called, but you do have that beam for the rest of the game, although it's not that, much anymore, because after you kill Mother Brain, the place is going to explode again.
Again, yeah. So in the first game, you have to run out back to your ship. The same thing happens this time.
There is actually a little extra tidbit, and this actually may fuck players over if they don't actually know it's there. You cannot get 100% until you free these little aliens.
Yeah, so basically, you have to, when you're running back to your ship, there's one point where you can pass by some aliens that end up helping you out, who teach you how to do the wall jump. And what's the other thing they teach you to do? It's the speed run.
The Shine Spark.
Yeah, the Shine Spark.
The Shine Spark is freaking badass if you get enough speed to do it.
Such a fun move.
If Samus has a good enough running distance, she becomes all rainbow-fied, and pretty much anything she touches just dies.
And then you hit down on the controller and jump, and she launches herself.
Wild.
And it's
the Shine Spark is pretty much like a super mega jump.
Yeah. That's one of the badass things about Super Metroid is some of the moves, like it introduces.
You have better ability.
Yes, it introduces a lot of the abilities that we see in the GBA games that come out afterwards. Fusion.
Was it
Zero Mission?
Was it Super Metroid that introduced power bombs?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, basically most of Samus's arsenal that carries over for the rest of the series is actually from Super Metroid, which is probably why I think it's the most memorable.
Yeah, it's one of the most memorable. And it has some of the most memorable areas to go explore, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the boss fights, Fantoon is pretty memorable, in my opinion.
Yeah. I really love the music that plays when you're actually trying to get back to your ship.
Yeah. It's had really good music.
Which tends to get remixed a lot.
Yeah. Alright, and then so moving on, we're gonna jump ship over to Metroid Fusion, which was from 1994, we didn't get a single game out for Metroid. Not even for the Nintendo 64 or the Game Boy Color. The next game we got was a Game Boy Advance game called Metroid Fusion.
Yeah, the closest for Samus on the 64 was Super Smash Bros.
We went 8 years before we got another Metroid game.
Yeah. And it's actually a drastic change from the old Metroids because there's actually emphasis on story this time around.
Yeah, so in Metroid Fusion, instead of, just running around aimlessly, not really knowing what to do, it's basically, you're told what to do. This time around, it's set up after Super Metroid happens. So Samus is bodyguarding some researchers on planet SR388, which is the Metroid homeworld from Metroid 2. She becomes infected by a creature known as the X-Parasite.
Yeah, and it gets lodged in her body.
Yeah, and so it infects her and ends up creating a clone of her.
Oh, that I always hated running into that thing.
Yep.
Basically, like, when you see the clone of Samus, don't try and fight it. Just run away because it will kill you.
It has all your powers. It takes control of Samus's old suit, and once
you get this. This is the one game you get something called the Fusion suit.
Yeah. So this is the first time, this is the introduction to. I mean, we get a bunch of new suits after this, but this one, you get a new suit because she can't use her old suit. You're slowly piecing your new suit back together. Basically, you're trying to get upgrades and stuff, and you're trying to work your way to being able to take out SAX, which is Samus's clone.
Yeah, the thing that you don't want to fight.
Yeah, and so, the majority of this takes place on a biological space lab, and the entire game takes place on this, where if you've played other M, think of it like that, where you have these different environments in different parts of a ship.
And you got a guy called Adam always directing you around.
But Adam's it's a program on your ship. And
I think it makes more sense if you play Other M, because actually I think Other M is before Fusion.
In terms of chronological order, yes.
Yeah, so in order to make sense, Fusion doesn't really make sense on who Adam is unless you play Other M.
Yeah, because it's kind of they introduce the character, and technically you can play the game without playing Other M, but you won't get kind of some of the she kind of does. This is the first time we actually get inside of Samus's head, where she has some inner monologue that we hear.
Yeah.
And that's one of the interesting things about this game. It's different. I mean, it's far from my favorite game, and I played through it, and you know, a lot of people like this one, and I'm just like, it's really good in parts, and I mean, it's really enjoyable, worth a look through.
Yeah.
But
it just kind of strayed from the original formula.
yeah.
Like, I think the cool thing about Metroid was that, like, it, in the end, it was linear, but it didn't ever feel linear.
Yeah, it's always linear because, I mean, you have this massive world that you can explore, and you're always running back around through the same area several times to be looking for items that you couldn't get previously because you didn't have the upgrades to have it before.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's a fairly linear game. You're going from one to one to one to one.
Yeah, it's just that the reason why Fusion is so linear is because you're actually being told like what to do and where to go.
And then the same year that Fusion came out, we were graced with a game from down in Texas. A little group came out with a game called Metroid Prime.
Oh yes, one of my favorites.
Yep, Justin likes this game. Honestly, I like the second one the best.
Well, we'll get into why I don't hate the second one, but I do have some issues with it. But we'll get to that when we actually get to it. But
the second one's the best.
Metroid Prime was basically the first time that Samus has ever been in 3D.
Yeah, so we come out of this 2D adventure platformer type feel, and we get thrown into a 3D first-person adventure game.
Like, I honestly think Metroid Prime is what Super Metroid would look like if it was in 3D.
Yeah.
Because it does actually have some of the memorable stuff from Super Metroid, except for the Shine Spark, which, you know, makes me sad.
Yeah, you can't do Shine Spark in Prime.
You can do it in other M, though.
Yeah, that's fun.
But yeah, Metroid Prime basically, it actually doesn't start on a planet right away. You actually start on a space pirate facility.
Yeah, you're raiding through a space pirate facility, and you end up getting hit
By an explosion.
And you have to start by, you have to take down the space pirates that are on the ship, or on this planet. And you have to, first off, rebuild your suit, and then you have to go through and...
Yeah. Because basically, like, what happened was is that, like, it's pretty much the tutorial level because all the space pirates are, like, so weak because they're already injured.
Yeah.
And basically your first boss is actually there, which is more like a tutorial boss, which is the Parasite Queen, which is kind of piss easy, so if you die, you just suck. You actually do encounter... The fun thing about the weird thing, Ridley's actually there, but it's actually foreshadowing because you don't actually fight Ridley until like near the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Ridley is literally the second to last boss.
Yep.
And so yeah, you chase Ridley down onto the planet, and pretty much that's when you actually gotta start collecting your stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, except Metroid adds something that the others didn't. Scanning.
Yeah, so there's a lot of backstory in this game, and you have to scan enemies for weakness points, and you scan items to know what they do, and you can scan lore to understand more about the game.
Yeah, so if anybody tells you there's no story in this game, they obviously haven't been scanning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically, yeah, you pretty much just, you know, you scan things, figure out about the world. It's a little bit different from the other Metroid because after a certain point of the game, you need to start collecting, what was it, Chozo artifacts?
Yeah, the 12 Chozo artifacts in order to access the sealed impact crater.
And that's where, that's actually where you fight, Meta Ridley.
Yeah, you fight him there, and then, you go inside the Phazon core, which has lodged itself into the planet.
Mm-hmm. and then you fight, I guess, the equivalent of Mother Brain in this game, which is actually a super duper Metroid on steroids.
It's Metroid Prime. It's been infected by the Phazon, so it's become ridiculous.
It doesn't even look like a Metroid, honestly.
Yeah, but that's because it's corrupted by Phazon.
You do get the wave beam in this game, but you can't shoot through walls.
Yeah, that's the sad thing.
Another thing this game introduces is, what do you call it? Different, visor modes.
Yep. So you can see an X-ray and heat vision, as well as your standard combat visor.
Yeah, because there's this one area I always have fun with because they're always there. There's invisible space pirates that, if you don't have the X-ray visor, you're not going to be able to see them.
Nope. And at the very end of the game, we're introduced to Dark Samus.
Actually, I think Dark Samus only appears if you get 100% scans.
No, you don't need 100%. You need majority.
Oh, okay. I think the 100% is just some extra scene.
And then at the very end, what happens is your basically when the Metroid Prime explodes, it causes your Phazon suit, which is the upgraded version of the suit you have, that layer of your suit to like rip off.
Yeah, you basically are stuck with the suit that came before,
The
which
gravity
is the gravity
suit. Yeah, so you're stuck with the gravity suit, and then you walk off, and then the Phazon ends up corrupting your Phazon suit, and then you see a hand, which is implied to be Dark Samus.
But you don't actually fully see her until the second game.
Yeah.
Or it's. I don't even know if it should have a gender. But yeah, basically, as per usual, the place explodes.
Yep. Always. Explosions everywhere. Explosions.
I think, wait,
Fusion.
when the place if you get 100% scans and the place explodes, is that where you see, like, Dark Samus getting away?
Like I said, I don't think you need 100% scans. All that you see in front is just the hand coming out.
Well, I know that, but I think I know it's the majority of scans, but I think 100% always unlocks something extra.
I don't know.
I'll have to actually look it up, but yeah, that's pretty much.
You get nudes.
Yeah, that's pretty much the appearance of Dark Samus, who will have a bigger role in the second game.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, Metroid Prime ends up doing a lot of stuff that's new. It has a lot of great music too, but it drastically changes what the Metroid series is all about. Changes it from the 2D to 3D perspective. And
you know what? I don't think it was a bad thing at all.
No, it's a different take, and I like having both feels for it.
Mm-hmm. And then we go to Metroid Prime 2.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Fuck that. No, we don't. We actually, before Metroid Prime 2 came out, there was an enhanced remake of the original Metroid that came out.
Oh yeah.
Metroid Zero Mission. So basically, if you're going to play it, it's the same thing as the first Metroid, except it has basically Super Metroid / Metroid Fusion gameplay.
Is it like that, what is it? That re-release of one of the Mario games where they made it 16-bit instead of 8-bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm thinking of.
And so, at the very end of the game, after defeating Mother Brain, and you get back to your ship, you actually get ambushed by the space pirates, and your ship crash lands back onto the surface, and you don't have your power suit, so you have to go back through the space pirate. What are you guys typing for? Oh my god, okay. Yeah, you go through in your Zero suit trying to get your suit back before the planet destroys. So if you want to play the original Metroid, play Metroid Zero Mission, because you get it's all re-enhanced, upgraded graphics, a little bit at the end of the storyline, and you actually for beating it, you unlock the original Metroid anyways.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, it's almost like since the original Metroid didn't really age that well, it's kind of better to play this one.
Yeah. If you're gonna play a game, play that one. Then we can move on to Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, which
Now,
is
see,
my favorite in the entire series, and you can fuck off.
now see, now this game it's essentially just like Prime. She doesn't like see. Samus responds to what is it like a distress signal or something?
Yeah.
And I think Echoes is a little bit more like story driven than the first Prime was.
Yeah.
Because there's actual cutscenes. I mean, there is cutscenes in the first one,
God, cutscenes.
but the cutscenes I think are a little bit longer and they're a little bit more detailed.
Yeah.
One of the first few cutscenes you get that I know of is that the one where you actually meet Dark Samus and the something you're going to get familiar with called Dark Portals.
Yep. So the thing about this planet, Planet Aether, I believe that's it.
I think that's what it was called. Yeah.
Yeah, Planet Aether is actually it has one of those what did I say it was
Light and dark sides.
Yeah, but it's corrupted by a phazon core is what
Oh
happened.
yeah, you're right.
And it's what ended up happening to this planet is it unfortunately caused a second planet to appear at this, and it split into two dimensions. And so basically, part in one reality, it's called light aether, which is normal aether, and then on the other reality, there's dark aether. So pretty much linked to the past.
Yeah.
How there's
Now,
light and dark worlds.
Now it plays just like the original Prime, so it's not like you have to get reused to it or something like that.
Same
but
controls.
New players might not expect the whole Dark World thing, because the Dark World actually does kill you if you don't stand the light little light things.
At first. Eventually you get a suit that fixes that.
Yeah, like I think you get the dark suit and then you get the light suit.
Yep.
Dark suit, I think you only take like half damage.
Yeah, and then you get the light suit, which you take no damage.
Yeah.
And there's points where you can heal and you don't take damage at all, so you don't have to worry too
much. The funny thing about the Dark World, if you're gonna find a light source, something to like stay under that the darkness won't kill you, I'm not sure why, but you actually heal in the Dark World, so you can pretty much just get all your energy tanks back there.
Yeah, I mean that's from the light. So
yeah, and you actually get the Dark Beam, which is essentially the Ice Beam, even looks exactly like it, and you get the Light Beam, which it looks like the Plasma Beam.
Yeah.
What you call it? Besides just looking like the original beams from Prime, they actually are different because enemies from the Dark World will take more damage from the Light Beam, and vice versa from the Light World.
And you have limited ammo for these ones, so unlike other beams where you have unlimited, shots, these ones you have to refill.
Yeah. What is that? I honestly forgot the one that uses both dark and light ammunition.
Oh god, what is that one?
I know it does double damage to either the light or the dark worlds.
I forget what it is. It's been so long.
Because, one will only affect the other, but this one actually affects both.
Yeah. So, including Dark Samus, who's in the Dark World, she's running amok everywhere. There's, a race, that are trying to take over.
Called the Ing.
Yes. They're trying to take over from Dark Aether. And in the end, you have to fight it against Emperor Ing and Dark Samus. And an epic battle royale before Dark Aether gets completely wiped.
Yeah, what do you call it? The weird thing about the bosses this time around is that they're actually carrying some of your power-ups.
Yeah.
What is the other one? One of them I think is what is he, Turbo Ing or something?
Yeah, so he's the one who, gives you...
The Morph Ball Dash.
Yeah, Morph Ball Dash. Yeah, some of them. There's a couple bosses that actually are holding your power up inside of them.
I think there's a grapple-ing too.
Yeah, there's a couple ings that are like that.
Yeah. Now, I said before that I don't hate it, but I don't like it as much as Prime. And the reason
Faggot. What?
is the Dark
Oh, I'm
World.
sorry. I popped while I was calling you a faggot.
I'm not used to the Dark World mainly because I don't like the fact that I'm constantly taking damage just for running around the overworld.
Oh my god, pussy. Jesus Christ.
Oh, also, well, that's not the majority of it. The majority of it is traveling between worlds. You'll notice that the overworld actually changes.
And that's a bad thing?
It is if you don't know where the fuck to go.
Oh my gosh. That's a good thing in my book. What if it was the same thing in both worlds? That would get boring. But no, instead of having the same map twice to look through, you have the same general map, but changed up a bit to where, you're not doing the same thing. I like that.
Yeah, doesn't like the map morph slightly?
Yeah, some of it changes, and stuff you do in the light world affects the dark version, and so on. Vice versa.
Yeah, and to solve some of the puzzles in the game, you actually gotta swap between worlds a lot.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Justin and you just don't know how to, do stuff, I guess. A lot of people don't like this game as much as Prime, and, that's nice. But you're all casuals, so you just you're not even on my level.
It's a good game. It's just
Better.
it's a little bit more challenging than the first one.
If you like a challenge, you're gonna love Echoes. If you don't like a challenge, well, get off my rock. I love. Oh my gosh! So out of the entire series, this has. Once you hit what's his fucking name? One of the bosses in the Dark World.
What is it? Does he have one of your power-ups?
He's the techno guy. He's from the techno area.
The techno guy.
He's the quad something.
Do you know what his power is?
I just know his quad something.
Quad. Fuck. I fought him. I don't remember his name either. I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember.
From that point on in the game, all the music becomes so fucking badass.
Oh yeah, Prime 2 also had some pretty good music.
I mean, it's probably like that later half of the entire series, of the game. I mean, it's just, oh my god, it's some of the best music in the entire series.
Yeah, I think I think it's like playing while you're fighting him.
Yeah, that's one of the most badass songs. In fact, probably is going to be the song playing through this portion of the videos. Oh my god. Some of the best music, in my opinion, in the series. Like I said, it's my favorite game, and I played the Wii remake off of Metroid Prime Trilogy. I played all the games off of that, so.
Don't you? I can't remember if you fight Dark Samus or not after you kill Emperor Ing.
Yes, you do. She's technically the final boss, and after you beat her, she vaporizes, and then she reforms in outer space.
Yeah, I think it was, I think it was Echoes, or maybe that's Corruption I'm thinking of that has.
Yeah.
Well, like, there's like a scene where, there's like a ship escaping a planet and like, dashing away.
That would be probably Echoes, because in Corruption, Dark Samus is destroyed.
Okay, so yeah, okay. I was just making sure. I said that in the original Prime. Yeah, that wasn't it.
Yeah. This is where we see Dark Samus escape. Dark Samus was never introduced in that one. It was just the hand.
But yeah, what do you call it? But yeah, that pretty much tells you. Oh, yep, there's gonna be a third one.